If I've heard it once, I've heard it literally dozens of times. Do I really have to vote in the November 5th election? Well, if you're a gun voter in Johns Creek, Duluth, Suwanee, or Norcross, I'm going to tell you just how important it is that you vote on this next election. Hey everyone, Alex Dorr here from Georgia Gun Owners, and I'm talking to the voters in Senate District 7. This is in Gwinnett County, in the cities I just said, and you have two very starkly different candidates. I'm going to tell you why it is so incredibly important that you show up to vote come November 5th. Now, we're a nonprofit. We're not allowed to endorse or oppose candidates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present to you the facts and let you determine how important it is that you get out and vote. So here, we're going to break it down for you right now. We're not going to wait. Greg Howard is running as a Republican candidate. Greg completed his candidate survey 100% pro-gun for Georgia gun owners. That means Greg supports the Second Amendment Preservation Act. This is our legislation in Atlanta meant to stop rogue police chiefs and radical left sheriffs from enforcing gun control that the state of Georgia never passed. I'm talking about federal gun control. Joe Biden's executive orders, gun control coming out of D.C. from liberal judges. SAPA, the Second Amendment Preservation Act, says, hey, we pay your bills, we hired you, we elected you, we appointed you to office. You're only supposed to enforce the laws that we've passed. Work for us. That's what SAPA does. Greg Howard says, yes, we need these constraints now more than ever, especially for chiefs of police who are not even elected, they're appointed into office. He wants to sponsor that legislation, in fact. That's what he said on the survey. Greg Howard wants to ban red flag laws. This is a step further than just opposing them. Red flag laws, if you're not familiar, are where, based on hearsay evidence, a liberal judge can have a secret court hearing and determine, based on hearsay evidence, that you're a danger. And he can send the police to your house to take your guns, strip you of your Second Amendment rights, until you can come and plead with the court to have your rights restored, proving that whatever allegations were made were false. This is so unconstitutional, it's hard to fathom. Greg Howard says, not only will I oppose that gun control bill if it shows up, I'd actually go a step further and fight to pass legislation that would outright ban red flags from being implemented. Again, the state of Wyoming just passed this legislation just this year. So Republicans fighting for gun rights are doing big things, and Greg Howard wants to do these big things. He wants to repeal gun-free zones in the state of Georgia. We all know that when a crazy, mad, deranged person wants to go and commit acts of violence, they're going to go where they know that they're less likely to be stopped. That is, gun-free zones. We see it all the time. Now, Greg Howard says, as state senator, he would remove gun-free zones, giving law-abiding citizens the ability to defend themselves wherever they are at. That is pro-gun. He wants to defend stand your ground law. Stand your ground law has been attacked by the radical left ever since it was enacted, and now we have Republicans in the House who are openly talking to the press about repealing stand your ground law. No, Greg Howard wants to go to the state Senate to fight to keep stand your ground law, and in fact, he wants to make it better, fix some things on it that would give us better protections under the law. So again, Greg Howard, he wants to fight and defend the Second Amendment as it is written. He wants to advance pro-gun legislation. Guys, now we're going to talk about the scary side of this. Nabilah Islam Parks, you may remember her. She ran for Congress just 2 years ago, and she had the support and the endorsement of Ilhan Omar, one of the crazy radical four. I forget what they call them up in D.C. She's from St. Paul, Minnesota, and she's down here trying to get Nabilah Islam Parks elected into office in Congress. That failed, and now she ran for Senate, and she was elected just 2 years ago. Nabilah Islam Parks is endorsed by Moms Demand Action as well. This is a George Soros-funded gun control organization that is down at the Capitol every time there is a gun control bill or a pro-gun bill fighting against our Second Amendment rights. So Nabilah Islam Parks is then by default supported by George Soros and his enablers here in the state of Georgia. She is fully endorsed by the Democratic Party, and therefore their planks are to ban AR-15s, ban 30-round magazines, You can go to Nabilah Islam Parks' website where she talks about this. She wants to pass universal background checks. She wants to track, trace, and register every gun owner in the state of Georgia. She wants to know who has guns, who they sold them to, who has bought them. She wants to create a database of gun owners. And one would ask, why in the world would you want that, Nabilah Islam Parks? She is also talking about mandated gun lockups. This is the new rage for the radical left. It's their toe in the door. Right now, they want to force every law-abiding gun owner in the state of Georgia to lock up their guns 24/7. So, someone breaks into your house in the middle of the night and you have 3 seconds to respond. Forget about it. You've got to run to your closet, open your gun safe, try and remember the combination or find the key, punch it in correctly with all the adrenaline, all the noise, to try to get your gun out to defend your family. Nabilah Islam Parks wants you to have to go through that ordeal to defend yourself, giving the advantage to the criminal, which will lead to just countless extra victims from radical thugs down in Atlanta mostly. That is the plank of Nabilah Islam Parks. So to the question, how important is it that you vote on November 5th? I think it's pretty important. Again, I can't tell you how to vote, but I can tell you what one candidate wants to do and what the other candidate wants to do. And I hope you now know what you need to make an informed decision. Guys, it's more important than ever to get out and vote on November 5th. Early voting starts on October 15th, runs through November 1st. Get all your friends involved. Get your family involved to come out to vote to save this state. Guys, now more than ever, we need you. We'll be breaking down more races here shortly. Y'all take care.